It's around this time of year that you notice a smell in the air. A smelly smell that smells smelly. It's the coziness of fall embracing you, making you want to go back to a magical little place called Stars Hollow, Connecticut, where we follow two young women in search for life, laughter, and love. They are the Gilmore Girls. Originally airing in the year 2000 for 7 seasons, the show became largely popular with women due to its cozy and romantic atmosphere, along with its relatable cast of characters. So it's around this time of year that the ladies gather around and move over because this is a show for the boys. You got charming slice of life. Give me a slice of that. You got romance with different boyfriend variants. Let's go. You got passive aggression. Dang it, Emily. I didn't tell you about the breakup because I knew you would react this way. This is why I don't tell you things. God. I don't know what you see when you're watching this, but all I see is a show for the freaking homies. If you're looking for a show that's got great writing, fun character arcs, emotional highs and lows, Kirk, and all with 500 grams of coziness per serving, then this is a show for you, my guy. Because guys want coziness too. So yeah, if this is a show that has many great qualities, strong female leads, and connects with women, then that makes it a show worth watching. For all the bros in particular. Guys, I don't think you should be sleeping on Gilmore Girls. That came out weird. Why do we watch shows like Friends or The Office over and over? Because it's consistent and funny, but most importantly, it's got a vibe, it's got an atmosphere that makes you feel safe. You're gonna be safe here, I promise. The monsters in your mind won't get you here. And what's the vibe of Gilmore Girls gonna be? What is it? What's it gonna be? It's cozy, I said this already. Small town energy and vibes where any little piece of drama gets spread around the town like herpes. It's cute. Not the herpes, the town. It's the perfect show when you're going through it. It's just like a warm blanket with a nice little cup of tea right there for you. And for all the gamers out there, I've always thought of Gilmore Girls as like the TV show equivalent of Stardew Valley. Stars Hollow Valley, you could say. You got the charming, quirky townsfolk, the mayor up to his antics, and cute little festivals and town traditions. It's freaking adorable. Nothing crazy's going down in Stars Hollow. No scientists trying to fuse humankind with the power of flies. No, just charming, cute stories. And while there are no Insano-style plots in this show, it's driven by the relationship dynamics of these characters as they navigate their place in life. Now listen, I don't want to hear you in the comments going, oh, this is a show for girls, when all you've ever watched is Breaking Bad, Peaky Blinders, Narcos, and Ozark. If this is just not your vibe, that's fine. I know this isn't going to be for all the dudes out there. But if you already like the kind of vibes of these shows and are just open-minded to try something new, then I highly encourage you to check this out because as I'm about to explain, this is a very well-written show, and because it's told from the female perspective, I think there is a lot to learn here about how the way that women prioritize relationships and what that looks like. So what's the show about? Glad you asked. Buckle in because this is how the plot goes. We follow the main character, Lorelai, a single mother who runs the inn at Stars Hollow. Lorelai is hardworking, sharp, witty, and available. She is the driving force of this show and is incredible just as much as she can be flawed. She had her daughter Rory at age 16, and because there's such a small age gap, they've become the bestest of friends. Rory's name is actually short for Lorelai. Did Lorelai name her own daughter after herself Lorelai? Yes, she did. Baller move. Their relationship is close. It's quick-witted. They verbally dance around each other like it's a boxing match. Rory is the classic quiet, shy girl with her nose in a book, and for some reason, this just brings all the boys to the yard because she's not like the other girls or something, I guess. In the first episode, Rory's immense brain earns her way into Chilton, the stuffy prep school. But because Lorelai is a single mother, she's having a hard time affording it. So she seeks the financial help of her RAP. Rich-ass parents. Turns out Lorelai is the daughter of the esteemed Gilmore family, starring Richard and Emily. Things are kind of awkward because Lorelai ran away from her suffocating parents when she was 16 and pregnant. But Emily, mastermind that she is, wants her daughter and granddaughter back in her life, so she fronts them the money for Chilton if they agree to have family dinners with Richard and Emily every single week on Friday. There's also this dude named Luke Gaines. He works at the diner. Guys, if you're worried about this show, Luke Gaines is your safe place. He's a dude's dude through and through. Look, he's got the scruff, he's got the flannel, he's got the backwards hat. He makes the men feel seen and heard. Lorelai goes to Luke's diner for coffee, and they got this undeniable chemistry going on. Maybe a little questionable, maybe a little romantical. Okay, I don't know. You just have to watch and find out. And yeah, that's about it. And so the show follows the Gilmore Girls as they navigate their way to life, laughter, and love. And the pursuit of junk food and coffee that they order, and then they never finish. They just walk out and leave it on the table. They don't even pay for it. Anyway, now it's time to get in the meaty meat of the show, okay? Let me show you. One of the most impressive feats in this show is by far the writing. The writing of the characters, the character arcs, but also the dialogue in particular. The dialogue in this show is everything. It's quick, it's wit, it's thick. Here's what I mean. At this time in the early 2000s, the average script length for an hour-long sitcom was about 40 to 50 pages. Gilmore Girls? 80 pages, easy. There were so many jokes, ideas, and references just jam-packed in these scripts that they were fat and juicy. Oh, baby. What this means is that in order for these characters to get across that much dialogue in 45 minutes, they had to talk fast. I don't know if you caught what I said there. I said they had to talk fast, and I said it really fast. They were whipping out Shakespeare-length monologues in mere seconds. Look at this.
Because my brain is a wild jungle full of scary gibberish. The Germans wore gray, you wore blue. Casablanca. Casablanca's such a good movie. Casablanca, the White House, Bush. Why don't I drive a hybrid?
But if it wasn't enough that they're hitting you with the fast-paced dialogue, they're also hitting you with some crazy reference game. The amount of references and trivia in this show is insane. Pop culture, bands, deep cut quotes from movies. It would make Kendrick Lamar proud. There will no doubt be references that you'll miss just because they fire off so many of them. Just listen to this dialogue.
You're like a crazy Elsa Clench. Oh, thank you.
You're gonna quote Freud to me? I was watching General Hospital the other day. Become a crazy Oscar Levant kind of celebrity? You didn't build one of those machines like in The Fly, did you? I will never be able to understand what Charo is saying.
Charo? What? Am I dumb? In fact, there is a podcast called Gilmore Guys, which ran from 2014 to 17 and features two guys who watch through the show and break down literally every single reference that they make in the show. Like, what other show has this to this degree? Some shows have action based on how characters act toward each other. This show has action based on how characters talk to each other, the exchanges they have. And Lorelai is the prime example of this. Let's say the topic of conversation is a basketball. She's freaking going over here, you know, she's zigzagging over there.
What's up, the bar that I've eaten?
Hey, vascular botulism does come with my company.
Maybe a little bit of this.
Open to you.
Women don't eat at all. We just look at food and jump on the treadmill.
Boom! And all before the clock runs out. In my opinion, I think this characteristic about the show is something uniquely female. Very verbal, relational, and just super interconnected. To me, it reflects how women can just string together so many thoughts, ideas, emotions, all in one conversation. And with such speed and grace, too. I feel like moments like this in the show are like a saturated version of that. And as a guy, I think it's really cool to see that unfold in a show like this. This also makes the show wonderfully rewatchable because there's always some sort of joke or reference or verbal exchange that you might have missed the first time around. All right, now I just need to take a moment and address something. I know this show looks like an old Hallmark movie, and it kind of is, but don't let that deceive you into writing it off. The show is helmed by creator, writer, and often director, and very often fedora wearer, Amy Sherman Palladino. Is her writing often cheesy and cutesy? Sure. But it does not shy away from some really emotionally raw moments that just punch you right in the nats. Bah, 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 just like that. Bah, bah. Just about every character at some point in the show has an ugly moment. An uggo moment, as it's known as in the industry. And this makes for great characters who are charming and likable, but also flawed. As much as it might seem like a one-dimensional Hallmark movie on the surface, these characters are written with a great depth that don't make them either just like really good or really bad, but just kind of like people. Normal, well-meaning, but also just flawed. Lorelai is also a great example of this. She's ambitious, she's driven, she's very likable, but she also makes some terrible decisions. Even Emily Gilmore, who often functions as this like fist-clenching, teeth-gritting antagonist, really just at the end of the day wants to have a close relationship with her daughter and granddaughter. Dang it, Emily, this is why I don't tell you things.
Also, I'm a villain now, is that it?
Whatever. A lot of this cast is in an ongoing state of high and low character moments. So it mirrors the pace of life really well in this way, and why I think it really makes it just a great slice of life show. All right, let's dig a little deeper into why guys should watch Gilmore Girls. And I'll tell you what I've learned in my experience watching the show as a guy. Just a guy-to-guy interaction here. After watching the show a few times through now, I noticed something pretty unique about it that I don't think I could say I've seen in a different show, which is that it offers a decent glimpse into what female relationships can look like. More specifically, what sisterhood is like. Listen, I know this is just a TV show, and real relationships are far more complex and nuanced, and I'm just some dude. But I've never seen a show that explores and portrays feminine relationships quite like this show. One that through its setting, its dialogue, its character dynamics, really just embodies unique feminine qualities. That's what makes it so compelling and why guys should watch it too. It'd be a mistake just to dismiss it as a girly show. That's not necessarily a limitation. And in this case, I think it's kind of its strength. The only other movie or show that I can think of that has portrayed feminine relationships in this way is Little Women. And also, I'm speaking about the 2019 movie, not the book. I haven't read it, I'm sorry. But I think it does a pretty honest portrayal of the closeness of sisterhood. The energy, the quickness, their ability to weave in and out of emotions together. I've seen these characteristics pretty clearly between my wife and her two sisters as well. I see it portrayed in a movie like Little Women and also a show like Gilmore Girls. And the cool thing too is that because you have two main characters like Lorelai and Rory, they both encompass different stages of life. One clearly in adulthood and the other one emerging adult, high school, going into college. On a fundamental level, I think Gilmore Girls portrays women's affinity to prioritize relationships by being vulnerable and creates a bond that is just as much fun as it is powerfully intimate. It's so entertaining to see Lorelai and Rory quip back and forth one moment, but in the next moment just being very vulnerable with each other. Being able to empathize with each other in the emotional highs and lows and just goofiness of our human experience is really unique and powerful. In my opinion, if this show even just gives a glimpse or reflection of any true thing, it's sisterhood. I'm not saying that guys don't have relationships like this, but I'm just saying that I think that guys express their relationships differently. All that to say, these are just some big generalizations from some dude, just a guy, So take that with a grain of salt. I'm not saying that this show is the key to understanding women or anything like that, but it's a show that's written by a woman, has two female leads, and I think there's just a lot of insight that can come from that. It makes it worthwhile content. But I think the most important reason why guys should watch Gilmore Girls is not only because it's entertaining and fun and potentially insightful, but I think it's abundant with things that can inspire empathy for the female experience and conversation about it. The last episode of Gilmore Girls aired in 2007. And even today, 2024, the year of the dragon, women are still watching and talking about this show. Search it up on TikTok and you'll just get blasted with the La La songs. If this show still resonates with women, then there's a good reason for it. I've talked with a lot of my female friends about this show, and it's always interesting to hear the ways in which the show validates their experience, makes them feel seen, or maybe it doesn't hit the mark, but it inspires conversation about it. I've had so many conversations with my wife watching through this show about, character dynamics, the choices that they make. It's really cool to compare our perspectives on these characters. I do believe that under the surface of the cutesy atmosphere, there is enough substance to warrant some really good conversations. And if that's the case, guys, if you watch the show, you can participate in some of those conversations with women as well. I'm gonna let my guys in on a little secret here. Ladies, plug your ears, okay? 9 out of 10 times, if you tell a woman that you watch this show, that is an instant 30 points. 30 points, easy. And do you know how hard it is to get 30 points in this economy? Forget about it. Beyond media's basic quality of entertainment, I think the best thing that media can accomplish is conversations about truth, or pointing towards truth. Is every episode full of profound concepts and questions? No. Is it even a perfectly executed show? No, it has its problems for sure. But if Gilmore Girls can share even some measure of truth beyond the average show, then I think that makes it a show worth watching. And why I think guys should watch Gilmore Girls. Hey everyone, hope you're enjoying the start of Cozy Season. Thanks for spending it here with me. If you've seen Gilmore Girls before, drop your favorite character in the comments. I'd love to see. Enjoy Cozy Season because you know what that means. Spooky season is right around the corner. You could just smell it in the air. Please consider subscribing if you enjoy whatever this is. Also, thank you so much to my members for supporting the channel. If you'd like to support the channel and some bonus content, consider joining as a member. I don't know, maybe we'll do like a little Gilmore Girls character tier list or something. May snails be with you always and forever, and yeah, peace.